Hello, everybody. I'm back. Anyway, I'm back because I kind of lost my train of thought the last time, so I'm going to restart. And you're not going to see that video because I got rid of it. There's a huge ass zit on my face, ain't it? Anyway, we'll be talking about some topics. Most importantly, what I've been through, and most importantly, what everyone else has been through. And if you don't like it, you are happy enough to get the fuck out of here. Because I don't care. I want to tell you about my experiences with this said illness. And yes, to some people, you can't get rid of it. You literally can't do that because it is actually an illness to some people, a disease. I'm not going to say plague, but some people I feel bad for because they have to deal with that every single day of their life, taking medicine to feel better. And then to that, I am very, very sorry. But for me, I had depression for 5 years of my life. 5 years. And those 5 years were the worst of my entire life because I lost contact with my father. My brother moved out. Never get to see him again. I lost my first girlfriend, and there was a lot of other shit that was going on in my brain. So you might have heard this over a couple of streams that I've done. Of how it's like, yeah, I know how it feels like. Been through depression for at least 5 years. It's not some type of total you have to keep track of, because if you keep track of it, that means you are very much a weirdo. But I kept track because I knew that it was something important I had to keep track of. Because those 5 years were somewhat difficult. So the first year, I was 8 years old, and I was apparently given this a little bit attention because I had extremely bad anger problems. I would get angry very easily, so I got made fun of for it. So I had to get kicked out, and when I lost my first girlfriend. I know 8 is weird for a girlfriend, but I kind of lost that. And kind of lost contact with every one of my friends, which very much sucked. Second year, which I was 9, started developing a lot slower. And this is when I was in that school for anger management kids. So I was out of the school program for a couple years, then came right back into it again. And this caused it to develop more. So it's like a tiny little bug, and it bites you. You get this tiny little rash, and at first you say it's nothing, and then it starts to develop more and more and wrap itself around your neck and holding you down with a chain. So 9 was pretty difficult. I couldn't focus, and I was also literally making myself look disgusting at some points. It was very, 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 very bad. 10. And this is when shit got real. I got moved to a different class, so I lost every one of my friends in the old class, and I got moved to a different one. And in this class, you can't change classes like in other schools. This class, you stayed in that class for the entire school day, except for gym and art. The entire day, you ate lunch in there, you did math, you did writing, you did every kind of subject in that class. And you stayed in that class all period. And that made me very, very uncomfortable. And at this point, I wasn't doing anything such drastically yet, and that's in the 2 years, so you gotta wait for that port. Or was it 6 years? I think it was 6 years. Hold on, because that's 11 and 12, so it has to be 6 years. Sorry, got that all mixed up. So 10, very much upset. I couldn't concentrate. I didn't know math very well, so people made fun of me for that because I couldn't get questions right. So I was stuck. in this little loop here, getting made fun of, getting told that I wasn't good enough. You can hear that from a lot of other people, and it was bad. So, in some part of your brain's telling you these rational decisions that you have to make to answer back correctly or answer back wrong. And I always answered back wrong because I wasn't such of a math whiz as I am now. That's because I never concentrated. I always focused on my friends first, then my work. Because I didn't care. So at 10, we're starting to lose focus of what was more important. My education was more important. I didn't know division, multiplication. The only things I knew was minus and plus, which is subtraction and addition. Sorry, I got kind of brain farted a tiny bit. Those were the only things I actually knew how to do. I didn't care about my writing. Didn't care about how it looked. I made it messy all the time. It's because you're 10, you don't know much about writing yet. And you get a fault for that. At the age of 11, this is when it started to develop a lot quicker, and it started to punch you in the gut a lot harder. For me, that's what was happening. So at 11, had this slowing down of progress, and it was starting to fail a bit. I wasn't concentrating, and that teacher didn't really want us to do work as much as we wanted to. As much as she wanted to, she kind of just read to us. We did a few pages of math, and we watched a movie for the rest of the day, which, to me, that's the best fucking class I've ever been in my entire life. But it was also the most less educational part of the entire class. So this, I'm pretty sure I was in 5th grade at the time, probably 4th. It's because my mother made me stay back a grade back in like 3rd grade to 2nd grade, or probably preschool. Yeah, she said preschool. So I stayed back a grade in preschool. Stayed back because I'm not going to get into any of that. That's my personal information. And the depression was starting to develop a lot worse because we weren't doing work, and I kind of to slowly dive into not caring about my hygiene, which was cleaning myself, basically. Giving myself showers, putting deodorant on, and brushing your teeth. That's dental hygiene, but it's still a part of hygiene. I didn't care about any of that. And this is when I was starting to not care at all about that whatsoever. So at the age of 11, I never cared at all. And that's the sad part, the thing to say, because you want to care, but at that point, when you're in depression and you're in 4 years of it, at that point, you really don't care anymore. And as some people might say, there is a lot of stages of depression. You sleep a lot. You don't take showers. You don't care about your hygiene, your dental hygiene. You don't eat as much. And that is the truth. I can tell you that now. But my depression was different. I overate myself. I basically said, fuck it all. Let me do what I want. So in some parts, that little voice in the back of your head was going, in my head, the voice in the back of my head was going, who cares? It's your body. You do what you want to it. So I took that advice and I went for it. At the age of 12, it was irrational decisions, and I started dressing more like I didn't really care how I wanted to dress. I basically wore the same clothes mostly every day in school. I got moved over. I got moved over to another class because apparently that's the class that has 5th grade to 8th grade, which I had no idea why. Don't ask me any questions. But to that point, started developing a lot worse. I was slowly diving down into this pool of dark mass of feelings, sadness, frustration, concentration, non-concentration, All that stuff was in this little pool that I got going on in my head, and I dove right into it and said, fuck everything else. I'm not doing what they want me to do. So when they gave me work that I didn't know how to do, I got really pissed off and I just didn't want to do it. And in this school, there's a lot of problems because a lot of kids like to flip out and break things. That wasn't the case for me. I didn't like breaking things, but at this point, I was really fucked up in the head. So I kind of flipped the desk, broke a board here and there, and kind of just snapped a pencil in half here and there. I wasn't that much of a bad kid. I was mostly good. That 5 year span of me diving into depression, it kind of fucked me up a tiny bit. You can't really tell what's going to happen to you. You're stuck on this mindset that who cares what other people think? It's not their body, it's yours. It's not your mind, it's yours. You do what you want. And if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't want an education, don't get an education. That was my mindset for at least 5 years of my life. And then the sixth, this was teenage years, 13, this is when shit got worse. I developed, this thing called puberty. And puberty really does mess you up. It causes chemicals to grow from places that you don't want them to, like right here, which sucks. But because it doesn't matter. It kind of goes away after a while. Your mom bought it for you, who cares? But at that point, 6 years, I'm going to get rid of all this. 6th year. This time is the year 6 of my depression. This is what taught me to say things to other people because I was literally going to take in the thought of suicidal shit. And at the 6 year span, I was actually thinking of doing it. Wanted to commit suicide. That's what I'm not going into, but it's some things that it makes me regret that I wanted to do it. Wanted to think of doing it. Wanted to slip my wrists this direction. Wanted to probably do as much as damage to my body as possible. And at this point, yes, this is the truth. This depression got so goddamn bad that I needed to go to a therapist. This therapist helped me, yes. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to get into the end of the story. My therapist was so nice to me. But this is about the beginning of this 60-year span of my depression growing. This is the worst of the worst. If you ever experience something like this, and most people in that age span probably does, I am so very sorry. And I'm here to help. If you want help, you can contact me, my email. You might know it. And if you don't know it, I'll give you my email so you can contact me. Email, everything. Here's the thing. I got so down the line of depression that it was actually going faster. There are stages, but my stages were increasing a lot quicker. There's a lot of stuff that dealt with that, but it exceeded an alarming rate. For the beginning of that year, I was okay. Not really, but I was somewhat not wanting to have suicidal thoughts. And then in the middle, and right after I said that, 2 months later, I was thinking of doing it. And this stage from not wanting to do it, this is the stage of doing it. It went right up there. And this is the stage right here, 2 months later, of this new year of school. And I never concentrated. This point right here, this tiny point right here, fucked me up for the worst. It made me really want to do things. Really want to do things. This is 13 years old, 2 months in, stage already up to suicidal thoughts. And suicidal thoughts is something you don't want to think about, because this is when you have to rethink and think about, if you actually did it, what would be the cost? Cost would be you miss out on everything. If I did it, I would miss on my nephew's birth. I would never get to see my nephew. And it would hurt everyone around me. But I was at that second stage of wanting to kill myself. And I thought about it. I was wussied out, which is good. If you ever think about that, you should wussy out, because that's a bad thing to do. Don't kill yourself. Take it from me. So at this point, my brother left a knife. And this knife was this big, and it came out to here. I still have it. I don't use it for anything else but self-defense. If anyone broke into my house, that's what I would use to attack them. But I had the knife. And I always looked at it. I always hovered over my wrist, but I didn't do it. I wussied out. You want to do that. Wussy out, because you shouldn't take your life for something as stupid as depression. And for other people, it might not be stupid because you can't get rid of it. To my apologies. For people who have it and you can get rid of it, it's just a stupid little thing that can go away after a while. Mine was really bad. It exceeded an alarming rate. I had suicidal thoughts. I had a girlfriend at the time. She was not as depressed as I was, I can tell. But I always said, it's like, okay, I'm always here for you. And if you need to talk, I'm here to talk. This suicidal thought train went up to the third stage, which is above it, where you start to cut your wrist. This was at least 5 months later. 5 months later, I went above that stage already. Started slitting my wrists for results to see what was going to happen. Lucky me, I wasn't good at it, because you don't want to be good at it. But you slit it. It caused the scab to go over, and it apparently left a scar. I'm not going to show it, because that's my personal business. You can see cat scratches and shit on here. It is not a cut from a knife. We have kittens now, as you've seen in other streams and videos. But starting to cut my wrists. That was the worst part. And this is when I realized that my life was so fucked up. It was. And I didn't want to be fucked up anymore. So I told my guidance counselor at the school. She called my mother. I got really mad to the point where I punched the middle door. Don't do that, by the way. Take it from me. And I gave myself a boxes fracture. And to see me that pissed off because I don't want to fix myself even wanted me to fix myself more. So I pushed over my depression. I said, fuck you, I'm doing this. And I kicked it in the face. And I started getting help. My mom brought me to, or the doctors brought me to, or gave me this address to go into this therapist place where you can get therapy to fix things that you're going through. My point of view, I had social anxiety, I was depressed, and I wanted to die. I didn't want to be there. So at that point, I was wearing my hoodie a lot and had the scarf, had gloves to cover my hands, and the hoodie, I made a hole so it could go over the gloves so you can't pull off the hoodie. Always wore black pants. I wore black everything, basically. My entire fashion base was black. You'd be like, oh, that's stereotypical, but it isn't. Because if you think about it, you don't care what you look like and what you wear. You start wearing stupid shit. I wore black, and I regret it every day of my life because I didn't want to seem like a stereotypical depressed person. But at this point, I realized that I do need the help. So I went for it. I actually went for it. Thought about it. It's like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And I went for it. Greatest decision of my life. Greatest decision of my life. And the greatest choice for my mother. That helped me for 3 years straight. 13, 14, straight on 15. And I'm still 15 to this day. And I feel like the greatest man alive. I feel so happy. I don't have this suicidal tension going in my head anymore. But I'm happy. But this is the story of how I coped with it. Yeah. A therapist I got to know, and I'm so thankful for. My parents, my stepfather, my father, my sister, my brother was there for me and everything. I felt way better than I did 5 years ago to this day. 6 years ago to this day. At the age of 13 was my worst. 14, I was getting better. 15, now look at me. I feel like I'm happy. And now it's 2 years to fix myself. To think about it, I overate. I grew my hair out. I felt fat and I felt disgraceful. And to that, I thank my therapist and my family and my friends. They all helped me. They all got me through it. And I'm happy to say that they're still here. And I'm glad that they are. But this topic came up because there was a video I watched at least 2 times because I cared so much about it. If no one knows, Jaden Animations, go right ahead, subscribe to her. I know I'm the lowest person that you should ever think about because I only have 11 subscribers probably. Say, go subscribe to this lady who has 4.5 million subscribers. And yes, she brought up this topic at least a couple months ago. So I wanted to say my own interpretation of what I went through. 5 years of my entire life, I went through that shit. I keep saying 5, but it's 6 years. 8 to 13. And I'm better than I was before. And I'm happy. I have a loving girlfriend. And I'm happier than I've ever been in a long time. But here's another thing I want to talk about. Let's slide my story out of the way. I want to talk about you guys. If you're feeling like this, please get some help. And if you can't get rid of it, I am very sorry for you. And I'm always, because I know what you're going through. Not as much as it might hurt that I got through, it must hurt you way more if you've been going through it way longer than I have. And to me, depression is such a horrible, horrible thing. It's so horrible. And there's a lot of people out there who took their lives because of this. And I'm here to say I am here to help. I am here for anyone who needs help. I was there for my girlfriend. I was there for my friend. I was there for my sister. I'm always here for my sister. She's going through something as well. But I'm here for everybody. If you need help, I am here. I am here to talk to. You can go to my email, jeffiscool, stereotypical, jeffiscool27@gmail.com. You should email me if you need to. I'm here. I'm always on, except from 6 o'clock all the way over to in the afternoons because I have high school. So yeah. So if you need help, I am here. Contact my email. That's it. I don't want to talk about something else. So let's push this out of the way for a second. Even though I just did talk about if you need help, you can go over to me. I'm gonna push you guys to go over there. Just stay right here in this way. Son of a bitch. Give me 1 second. Let's get back into what I was talking about. I'm gonna put you guys over here. Stay right there. Like you could say hi, but you could stay right there in the chat right there. If you're here, it's like right there. It's like right there. It's right here. Anywho, I'm gonna get close and personal right now. I'm even closer than I was before. You can see the giant zit on my face. Anyway, I'm gonna put you guys over in the chat right there. It's right there. It's right there. If you start thinking you're a disgrace, you're not good enough, and you should do what you want to your body, fuck it up as much as you want to, no. If you do that, I'll find where you live and slap you in the face, because that is not what you want to do. I had a voice, yes, in the back of my head telling me, do as much as you want to your body, fuck it up, beat it up, do something to your life that you want to do. So I overate and I cut myself. And it fucking felt bad. It just, no. And that's why you don't want to go through that shit. But I made it even worse to the point where I made a simple little character. You might have heard him a few times. Or even if you follow me on Instagram, I made this character called Shadow. And this was the voice in the back of my head telling me you weren't good enough and you should fix yourself to your point of view. Shadow was the shadow of me. Shadow was everything that I was opposite from, because I was trying to fix myself. Shadow was frustration, sadness, depression, unconcentrated, unfixed, can't do anything right. He was everything mean and nasty and sad. And to that, I can't express more. He was one of my least favorite characters I've ever made in my entire life. I make fun of him here and there. He was my least favorite because he was the thing that I named. The voice that I had. It was really screwed up in the head. And it hurt. It didn't feel right. And to be honest, I don't want to go through it again. I don't want to hear that ever again. But I don't want you to go through that either. So, come to me for help. I'm not a guidance counselor. I'm no therapist, but I'm always here to help you guys. Always here to help. And I'm always going to be here. because 15. Come on, I have a long life to live. And I'll always be here, no matter how much subscribers I have, no matter how fucked up I get, no matter if I'm drunk or probably vlogging, I'll still be here at the age of probably up to 50. Who cares? It's YouTube. Come on. I'll still be here. And that's the truth. I will never leave. It's because I care. But I'm going to end this off now. It's been 30 minutes. I think it's time for me to end this. It's been real, guys. And remember, if you want to see more content, subscribe now and like the video. You comment what you want me to talk about, or basically what you want me to talk about next and what to help you with. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Peace out.